rediscover that carefree feeling again with a Pedego electric bike. Pedego is the #1 brand of electric bikes in America because with Pedego, we put you and the customer service first. Pedego electric bikes are universally fun for all ages. Choose to pedal for exercise or throttle for full assist. Give Pedego Fort Lauderdale a call or stop in for a free bike ride. 954-652-1823. Come as you are and try a Pedego today, where our motto is Hello Fun. 954-652-1823. Tell them the Brooklyn Cafe sent you. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. AMP2.TV presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on AMP2.TV. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Oh, yay.
Oh, yay.
Where's she going?
Right here. Hi. Can we have her squeeze in over here somewhere?
Linda?
Freddie said.
Okay.
Freddie said no.
Hi, welcome to Tell Us Your Biz. We have a really exciting show for you today. We are going to be talking about and showcasing conscious businesses today. My name is Prema, and I am so excited to be here with you tonight and to be with our guests tonight. I want to introduce our guests to you. Darnell, tell us about yourself a little bit.
Hi, they call me Nellie. I am a psychotherapist, a licensed psychotherapist, a 500-hour trained yoga instructor. We're opening a yoga studio in Delray Beach called Casa Monobliss. It's our passion project, all of us sisters in our community here in Delray Beach, so we're really excited about that. And I'm one of the founders of Monobliss, a conscious business directory.
Excellent. Thank you for being with us here tonight,
it's my
Darnell,
pleasure.
Nellie. Okay, and on to Muktananda. Muktananda, please tell us about yourself. We're so excited to have you here with us tonight.
Thank you. A pleasure to be here. Yeah, my name is Muktananda. This name was given to me by my guru, Sai Ma. And I'm the founder of a company called Pavima. Pavima is a company that actually consults with and coaches people who are committed to creating conscious businesses.
Okay, great. Excellent. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to tell us? Because I know there's more to your, to what you do.
Yeah. Well, I've been in the business of working with conscious businesses for more than 3 decades. So over time, my practice and how to work with conscious businesses, and mainly we're working with leaders, entrepreneurs primarily, you can't be what you are not. So if you're a conscious business, and it's an extension, it's an expression of who you are and what you're committed to. And when you make that kind of commitment, you're going to attract to you all of the people, all of the energy that's aligned with that. So I do a lot of work with energetic alignment, how to bring an organization, a business into energetic alignment, stemming from the founder, but then permeating throughout the organization. That's the broad picture. There's a lot of detail that goes into that,
Absolutely.
and I'd love to share it.
Oh, I can't wait to hear and for the audience to hear more of those details. I know you've been an amazing part of my growth as a conscious business owner, so I think it's something that everybody needs to hear about. Jax, tell us, Jacqueline.
I like either way. Thank you. My name is Jacqueline, or I go by Jax. Currently, and for the last 5 years, I have owned an organic cold-pressed juice and smoothie bar in Delray Beach, Florida. The name is Juice Buzz, one word. And I am also a certified yoga instructor with a background in hospitality, hotels, and restaurants. So for the most part, I believe, and I agree with everything Muktananda was saying, it is an extension of me. And when I hire new staff members, I let them know that, I share with them that we are part of the community as a whole. Yes, we're a business. We do need to make money to pay bills, to pay their paychecks, and to get the food from our vendors. But more importantly, what is our purpose? and our purpose is service, and it's service to the divine, and to the greater whole, to our brothers and our sisters. So Juice Buzz is my baby, and it is an extension of me.
Oh, we love your juices. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know how we're going to rotate, but come on in, Val. We're going to squeeze in.
So we have it.
We're going to snuggle.
And her and I will look alike.
Okay.
Curly hair.
Right.
I know, right?
People might confuse us. He said
Okay.
this close to you.
All right.
So you
Hi,
know how to
Val.
do that.
Hi.
How are you tonight? Thank you for
Good.
coming.
Yeah, I'm really glad to be here with you guys.
Awesome. So tell us about what you do. I know some of what you do, but there's so much that you do. I can't wait to hear about it, all of it, and for you to
Yeah.
tell the audience.
Thank you. Well, how to wrap it up in a nutshell,
Right.
right? Sometimes I like to say thank you.
Oops.
I'm a paradigm hacker, an evolutionary activist.
I love it.
What it really looks like is I'm the founder of Inspired Life Workshops and Psycho-Spiritual Coaching. I'm a board certified leadership coach, mindset coach, and coach trainer. I facilitate workshops. I do a lot of public speaking. I work with groups and individuals, and I create mindful living events, both intimate events and large-scale global events that contribute to our world and deepen the conversation about what's happening within us, what's happening around us, and how we can really connect more deeply to who we are and how we relate to the world around us. I love to inspire people to fall in love with themselves, to fall in love with our world, to fall in love with the earth, to remember the depths of where we come from and the
Right.
possibilities of where we are heading.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So beautifully said. So that's like our common theme for tonight, how we can infuse that love and beauty and good into everything we do and really start to shift that paradigm and create a better world for us to live in. And today we're talking about how conscious businesses do that. And I think, the first thing everybody asks is, what is a conscious business? We hear the term all the time, but how do you know you're a conscious business? What are the characteristics? So I want to open that up to you all to talk about, and it's going to be like free form discussion, So like I don't know who wants to start us off on it, but let's get started. Maybe Val, do you want to start?
Sure. Yeah. When I think about a conscious business, first and foremost, consciousness is being aware of ourselves and how we affect the world around us. So when I think about a conscious business, it's, someone who is doing something with awareness that contributes to the greatness of our world, that honors other beings, because not just humans, but we're also talking about other animals, also talking about the earth.
Right.
How does the business, waste? What happens there? How does the business, where do the clothes come from? How are they made? Like all of these things need to be considered in a conscious business. How are we affecting the world for good?
Right.
So that's, I think, a good starting point maybe for us.
I agree. Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that.
Sure.
When we were outside before we came in, Vivian and I were kind of prepping on this question, and she mentioned about the heart, and immediately I'm also thinking the soul. So it just goes along with what we were saying, prior to. It's an extension of us. It's a reflection of us. So if we are acting as conscious beings, for our brothers and our sisters and everything Val said, then that needs to permeate, but that comes from within us. We can't fake that stuff.
Right.
So therefore it's authentic. So to me, like the authenticity, it pours through every aspect of the business, to the way that you greet the customers, if it's a retail, to the way that you are with your staff, even behind, closed doors, having an open door policy, letting them be seen and heard as opposed to being just told what to do. To me, that's part of the consciousness. And also, bottom line isn't what we're really here on the planet for, I don't believe. And I know there are a lot of businesses that are just for the bottom line, and that's great. They serve a purpose. But for me, the conscious business that I hold dear to my heart is that it's not just for the money. And I said that already, but it's more about the purpose and the mission statement.
Oh, yeah. One of the things that I heard that always stuck with me, profits is not a mission.
Yeah.
To make profits cannot be the mission of a company.
Love that.
It's a byproduct of the good work that we do. And that's always stuck with me. And one of the things that, when we're talking about conscious businesses and doing good and it's a lot of people tend to think that oh, that's so airy-fairy, and how does it apply in real world? We're living in this cutthroat, kind of world where everybody's, about themselves and about the bottom line and the dollar. How can a conscious business be successful in that paradigm? So I've personally done some research around that, and one article that I read, which was a Harvard Review article, demonstrated that conscious businesses outperform regular businesses by 10 times in profitability. Do you see that also in your businesses or in dealing with other businesses? Do you see that some of those conscious businesses as more successful, or a role for them to outshine traditional businesses? Let's talk about that, because I think there's a misunderstanding that to be conscious doesn't elevate you to the type of sharp business practices that these like real strong, cutthroat businesses have. What do you think about that idea or thought?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that. The paradigm in which most people live right now is a win-lose proposition. If I win, you have to lose.
Right.
But when you move into unity consciousness, and this is about the evolution of consciousness, as you move into unity consciousness, we talk about creating win-win situations. And when you create win-win situations, you're aligning with the energy of abundance. And when you align with the energy of abundance, so much more can come and what is possible. And that, to me, would explain why a conscious business, well organized, well run, is actually far more productive financially, but as well spiritually, energetically, works with the environment, works with everyone is part of it, because you're working from the energy of energy consciousness.
Right. Okay. Darnell, would you like to?
I think conscious businesses have a lot to do with what the people who work there feel from the business, what they get from the business, what they get from the business owner, what they get from the mission and the values of the place that they work. So not only is the profitability awesome, but also people's satisfaction at work and how they feel part of something bigger and for a greater mission is huge. And I think that the more that businesses gravitate towards this paradigm, the more people are going to be happier overall.
Absolutely. So what can, as a conscious business owner, what do you do? What do you all do to make it a good environment for your employees? How are you conscious in your employee practices? Because I think that's foundational to being a conscious business. I agree. Like, a conscious business starts with a conscious mission. How do we add value to the world? But then how do we add a value to everyone we touch? And the folks that we most touch are the employees that we work with. They're the ones that we're with more than our own family. So how do we positively impact those folks? And let's talk about like some of those strategies. What are some of those strategies that you've seen that are successful, and what are some of those strategies that you use?
I'll speak to that a little
Right.
bit. So, for example, the last project I just did, which you guys were also part of,
Yay. It was so fun.
Yes,
Oh,
it was
thank you.
beautiful, right? It was Feast for the Soul, 40 days of mindfulness and meditation. And I brought together over 40 incredible teachers from around South Florida, a little bit beyond, but mostly located down here. And something that was even more inspiring than I could have even envisioned was celebrating everybody's gifts. So it's really recognizing, no matter what the dynamic is, whether it's like you have employees that work for you or you're working in partnership or whatever it is, it's understanding that we are all rising as constellation. Right? We can't just, one person can't just rise to the top. We are in a partnership all the time, no matter what the title that you take for that company or that business or that dynamic. So something that was so beautiful about what we just did was how every single person was celebrated for the gifts that they had to offer. And it was unique and different and powerful, equally as powerful across the board. And I think that whatever business you're in, when you bring that level of consciousness and the relationship aspect of it, and we celebrate the gifts that each person has, whether they're cleaning the floor, right, or running the company, everybody is contributing equally with the gifts that they have. And when we celebrate that and honor that, it takes away that that sense of hierarchy or that sense of separation or the sense of one person dominating other or my boss and someone subordinate to them, right? It really gives us a sense of equality, and that creates a team.
Absolutely. I think, to add to that, and I know, Jax, you want to add to that too, so I'll turn it over to you in a second. I see you're ready to go. But in terms of that, one of the things that I learned and I was taught later on, I didn't start off, with great leadership skills. I learned through the School of Hard Knocks, and I definitely didn't start off conscious. I wish, I learned that also through the School of Hard Knocks. It kind of wakes you into consciousness. So for me, what I've learned is that as a leader, that our role is to serve the people that work for us and to help them self-actualize and be the best version of themselves that they can be. And oftentimes, in the old paradigm, when we have employees that aren't performing where we need them to perform, we blame the employee. In that new paradigm of thinking, we look to ourselves and said, how have I not served them by giving them the tools that they need to be successful, or putting them in a position that didn't really serve their skill set? Because we all have a place in this world, right? A place where we excel. So as leaders, we have to ensure our role is to help people find that and really find their place where they can feel good about themselves and really be the best version of themselves, right?
Yes.
And that's a whole different paradigm than saying, why aren't you doing this? You're not right, That's, it's a much more inclusive, conscious kind of paradigm. So I wanted to point that out because it goes right in line with what you were talking about is really celebrating people's strengths, finding them, helping people to find them so that you can, really guide them there too.
And I think you also hit on it, and so did you, Jacqueline, when you said being in service. And I didn't get to hear the beginning. I'm sure it was probably mentioned a billion times already, because the heart of it is, how can I serve?
Right.
How can I serve myself? How can I serve my family? How can I serve you? How can I serve this world? It's ultimately about being in service.
Right.
That's our job. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
And every person that works for us, we can activate them in a certain way. If we show up for them and meet them where they are and see them as a soul, there's a way for us to coach them or motivate them or just say little things to let them know that we believe in them so that they can believe in themselves. If we hold them to their highest self or their highest standard, they will rise to that every single time just because we believe in them. Absolutely. So if we're clear with ourselves of who we are and how we're showing up, we can kind of model that and help other people show up and meet us there.
Without a doubt. Did you want to
You're
add
so
to
perfect.
Do.
You have all the time you need.
How much time do we have?
It's a Jacqueline show.
No, this is for all of us. No, because
I'm kidding. I love you.
I love you too. No, I learned so much from all of you, and I just wanted to take a moment to say to whoever's listening, to everyone who's listening, how grateful I am, and that we inspire each other, and we help each other grow. Not any one of us bring anyone else down. We are here to elevate each other, and I'm talking about the people in this room and all of our friends and our family and our coworkers and employees. God, I want to remember everything you said and touch upon everything. But to sum it up, I'm so glad that, Vivian, you spoke before I am, because what you said is so true for me. I'm still learning and I'm still growing. I've only been at this boss thing, business owner thing for almost 5 years. And like I tell my staff on occasion, I'm human just like they are. Yes, I have expectations. They have responsibilities. They have job duties that are listed. And, sometimes they're going to fall short. But I do encourage them to come in, leaving personal stuff aside. That doesn't mean that they don't call me when they're crying or when they're sad or they have an issue. And I appreciate that. And that has been a challenge for me, to separate the business owner, the boss, the employer, versus I want to be compassionate to them. I want to be empathetic and sensitive to them. But hey, you still have to be at work on time.
Right.
You still need to stay your full shift. You still need to be pleasant.
Right.
But that's been a challenge for me, the ups and downs of learning to be conscious and loving, right? Because we want to see their souls, and we want to just be there and caring because that's who we are. At the same time, no. Oh, yes.
Right.
So I give them the space to create, and I'm not there all the time anymore.
Right.
So that was the last thing I want to share. And adding to that is like giving them the space to offer their gifts and their talents. If you come up with a smoothie, please, like we could add a board, come up with a juice, please. These 5 or 6 or 7 items, it's not the end all be all, Tell our customers this is your creation because you are part of the whole. it's not the Jacqueline show.
Right. I love the Jacqueline show. I'd sign up to watch it. I'd watch it all day long. You know, I went to a leadership training a while back that and that focused on, you know, leadership styles and allowing folks to have enough room to kind of, you know, self-actualize and not micromanaging, which is what you're talking about. And one of the examples this trainer was given, his name was David Lloyd, and he's with MTM, which is the National Council for Community Mental Health consulting and training arm. He's the president, and he does a lot of talking about leadership. And he was saying about in his own career where he used to micromanage, like to the point where his secretary, he had her rewrite in the old days of the typewriter a letter that was like an easy letter like 10 times. And she came back, and I'm probably telling the story wrong. And she said to him, you know, you just paid me like $100 for this thank you letter. You know, did you really have to have like everything, you know, seen through, you know, crossed out and looked at 10,000 times? How much time of mine and yours did you waste doing that? We could have learned on the back end of that a little bit. And so how do we allow people to then make their mistakes and grow just like we did, and put their own personal styles into it, and then just coach them in a way, you know, on the back end on how they can improve upon it, but really give them the space, you know, to really come up with their own way, unique way of giving their input to a business, of contribution. That's a beautiful thing. And you mentioned that, you know, you're doing that. So I, you know, applaud that very much so.
Yeah, to build on that, I'd like to just say that if you're going to have energetic alignment in an organization, then you have to have structural alignment. So you create your values, your mission, your values, your guiding principles. Are your practices aligned with them? Because sometimes it's easy to speak these beautiful values that enhance humanity, human beings as their souls. You want to create that beautiful environment. But then if you go back into an old paradigm structure, where, say, for example, simple thing, you preach teamwork, you reward individuals.
Right.
So is your structure supporting your outcome, desired outcome? So how do you actually work with an organization to decentralize it and put it into some more of a team-based system and add a component of team-based compensation? So you're not actually monitoring and disciplining it. The team does it itself. You can build in practices where the power that's why they're more productive. You set up a business that works that way, it's so much more productive.
Right. Because everybody has each other's back.
Right.
And looking out for each other.
Everybody has a stake in the game.
Right.
That's beautiful. That's a great way of looking at it.
And the thing is, if you're looking at from the point of view of consciousness,
right,
when we declare a value, whatever value you might want, teamwork, for example, or we value the individual, each person. When you make a declaration like that, energetically, everything that isn't aligned with that is going to come to the surface. And that's where the coaching comes in. Because when you're working to create a more socially conscious or conscious business, you are making a powerful statement energetically. And a lot of stuff that isn't it will surface. So you need to know how to deal with that. And that's why businesses are such a great vehicle for the acceleration, for the transformation, for the evolution of consciousness. Yes. It's really, really a fantastic laboratory.
It really is.
A real life laboratory.
I think it's the only way. Like businesses really shape our society today. And if we're going to really shift the paradigm, we have to get businesses involved, because they're the reason that our, you know, a lot of our laws exist and the ways that we interact, what we watch on television, you know, what we consume, you know, everything comes down to the business, you know, really, and what they're putting out there to market. And so if we're going to make an impact, it has to start with business first, you know, and of course it's the people behind businesses. We want to affect the people behind businesses, but we want to teach businesses what it takes to become conscious. We talked about some of the things we talked about is culture. We talked about mission. We talked about vision. We talked about values, taking a look at that. We talked about policies, the kind of policies you have, the culture, of an organization, looking at that and what's the culture that you're promoting, all this, conscious culture within it. We talked about compensation, and rewarding folks. When we're talking about compensation, I want to mention that, and I believe it was, and I saw it somewhere, so I'm quoting it secondhand, but one of the things that stood out to me with Whole Foods is that their employees, there's a formula for their lowest paid employee to their highest paid employee. I think that their highest paid employee can only make, I believe it's like 10 times, so don't quote me, as much as their lowest paid employee at the organization, so that there's not an imbalance in compensation. So even that is a conscious way of looking at it. How do we spread our earnings among our folks, right? What are our business and our financial practices? And, how does that impact? How do we impact the well-being? What are some of the things that we provide to our employees to improve their personal well-being too? Because, we have a responsibility to the people that we serve. So we talked about all these beautiful things that can be done. I want to ask you if you all believe that we can bring this conscious business paradigm to our world. Is that something that you see as viable, and how do we get it there? What do we need to do to start showcasing more of this work and getting people on board with conscious businesses?
I think we need in-your-face education. I don't think people know what's out there. I don't think people understand what a conscious business is. I know we're talking about it in different words here, but I think people need to see this business is a conscious business. This business is not. Where do you want to spend your dollar? I think it needs to really be in people's faces, because I think people are good at heart. I think people are born good. They want to be good people. They want to do well by the planet and each other, but they just don't know how. I think they're confused. I think they're asleep. I think they're busy. They're tired. Some of them are suffering. I think they really need to be shown very concretely what is the way, which way to go, what to choose a conscious business, to choose something that's beneficial for the planet and humanity.
That's a great, yes, that was a great response. We do need to do some education. And what I also like that you said in there, we need to educate people where to spend the dollar. Yeah. Because where we spend the dollar is going to make all that impact in the world. As individuals, how we affect businesses is what we choose to invest in. And I think that that's a big message that we need to continue to champion out there, that we have all the power in the world. We can choose to spend our dollars to support folks that support our perspective and viewpoint. And that's our responsibility, is to learn who those folks are and choose to invest our dollars in those products that support us and our earth. Right? Would you all agree with that?
Definitely. And I'm the story of Stuff is popping in my head. I'm sure you guys have heard it, seen it. Is it Annie?
No, I haven't.
Annie Leonard, maybe?
I don't know, but please.
I haven't.
By all
Could you
means.
share
Oh my
it?
gosh.
I know.
Okay, YouTube, The Story of Stuff. And
Okay.
I want to say Annie Leonard. I might have the name wrong. But it's about the true cost of things. When you go to Walmart and you pay this much, what is the true cost? Where did it come from? How much did they actually spend? How much is being subsidized? Just so along with what you're saying, Darnell, is understanding the true cost of what you're paying for, where your dollars are going. And I think, a lot of times then the challenge becomes, around people who may not have the funds to be able to support those conscious businesses that end up usually costing a little bit more for their items, right? Right. So that's a question, just something to think about, putting it out there. I don't know if we're getting a signal.
I think we are.
Yeah, we're getting a signal.
We're going to take a commercial break.
More to say,
When
we'll
we
take a break.
come back, we have a lot more to say. When we come back, we're going to start talking about, I think we might already be on commercial, but everybody's business here. Okay, thank you.
Ready, set, ride. Remember when you were a kid and riding a bike was pure fun? It's time to rediscover that carefree feeling again with a Pedego electric bike. Pedego is the #1 brand of electric bikes in America because with Pedego, we put you and the customer service first. Pedego electric bikes are universally fun for all ages. Choose to pedal for exercise or throttle for full assist. Give Pedego Fort Lauderdale a call or stop in for a free bike ride. 954-652-1823. Come as you are and try a Pedego today, where our motto is Hello Fun. 954-652-1823. Tell them the Brooklyn Cafe sent you.
In a perfectly imperfect world, you can eat the foods you love, lose weight, and be healthy. But what if I told you can do just that? In fact, your diet should be perfectly imperfect, by eating the foods you love and still achieving your health and wellness goals. I take the guesswork out of nutrition by giving you my simple and effective strategies so that you can live the healthy and happy life you will love using real food to get real results. Schedule your nutrition consultation today at 888-84-TAMMY or visit my website, TammyFogarty.com. Don't delay, get healthy today. 888-84-TAMMY.
When was the last time you had a fun girls' night in? Have you heard of Pure Romance? Pure Romance by Michelle Spears offers a fun-filled presentation of our product line, followed by a unique shopping experience that you and your girlfriends will not forget. Call me, Michelle Spears, at 561-572-1901 to reserve a date for your free shopping spree, to learn about income opportunities, or shop my website at pureromance.com/MICHELLESPEARS. And remember, bring Pure Romance back into your life.
Does your child learn best when they see and experience information? Is your child smarter than indicated by test results? 3D Learner is an integrated learning program that helps identify your child's strengths and challenges. 3D Learner's individualized program for academic and athletic success will significantly improve reading comprehension, test scores, and self-esteem. Contact 3D Learner today for more information. Call 561-361-7495 to unlock your child's true potential. Visit us at 3dlearner.com or call 561-361-7495. You are listening to Tell Us Your Business, where our invited guests share all the knowledge of their business and how important it is what they do in our community. If you want to be part of the conversation, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and tell us what's on your mind. Now, back to Tell Us Your Business.
Should be updated. Hi, we're back to on Tell Us Your Biz. So I did not mention, but if by chance you have any questions for our panel, please give us a call. We're at 1-888-565-1470. You can also post any questions or comments on AMP2 TV on Facebook, AMP2 TV Productions on Facebook. So if you want to call us or post a comment, we would love to interact with you all. So on this next portion, please, absolutely. We love to get feedback. So in this next portion of our segment tonight, I want to talk about what everybody does in your businesses so that we can get to know. Muktananda, tell us about Pavima and what Pavima does, please.
Well, Pavima is a poetic expression of a Sanskrit word which means higher dimensions of consciousness. So as I've evolved myself, what I've come to learn and experience is that we humans are multidimensional and that our life on this planet is just one dimension. But there are other dimensions that we can access, and they're at a higher frequency energy. So the whole idea behind Pavima is to operate from that higher dimension of consciousness and to bring that let that inform who we are, how we live, how we operate in this dimension. And that is so powerful. That's something that took me years to actually learn. I did most of the work and transformation without that awareness.
Right.
And it was still very effective. But this way, you get in touch with higher frequency energy, you allow things to happen. If we can get the ego out of the way,
right,
and just allow that energy to flow through us, it's absolutely amazing the transformation that happens and how easily things can come to us.
Can I ask, what you do is you coach businesses on how to shift into this new paradigm, right? That is what you do with Pavima.
That's what I do.
Okay. And can you tell us, I know all about your incredible background, but nobody else does that's hearing us today. So could you tell us more about it? And when you gave us some details, but in the past, you've been the CEO of various companies, correct?
Yeah, I've formed a company that, this is going back many, many years, with the intent. First of all, I started working with Tim Galloway, who was the founder of The Inner Game. And we did, this is back in the 80s, and we did a lot of consulting with very big companies who wanted to basically operate from a different paradigm.
Right.
And that's what the Inner Game was all about. And working with CEOs and executive teams back then, one thing I learned is that you cannot affect transformation in an organization up to the threshold of fear of the person who's running it, whether it's a CEO, the team leader, the vice president, doesn't matter, division leader. Once you reach their threshold of fear, transformation is stopped. And it's kind of like, we love what you're doing for them, but they exempt themselves.
Right.
And I realized that there was more to it. So I studied with some great masters. In addition to Tim Gallwey, I studied with Fernando Flores, who was a prelude to the whole landmark education approach to transformation. I worked with Richard Strozzi Heckler, who's done a lot of work in somatic integration, working with the body so that it's not just a concept, you embody it. If you don't embody it, you don't know it. So all of these forces have impacted my work, but the most profound impact was when I met my spiritual master, Sai Ma. She actually allowed me to experience the higher dimensions of consciousness.
Right.
And when that opened up, and I worked with her organization for years, she said, you cannot operate in this organization unless you're operating at a fifth dimensional consciousness.
When you say it's Saima and you worked at the organization, you're just saying you were the CEO of Saima's organization for a while.
I worked with her, yeah.
And you still oversee her finances and the operations in India, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's not worked. You still continue to, but you had a pretty major role in reforming an
I
international, like a global spiritual organization.
Right. Yeah. Operating in 5 continents.
Right. And
So-
still do a ton of traveling.
Oh, it still does.
In
But
addition to
I'm
running Pavima.
no longer the CEO. I did what I did, and I'm grateful for it. And now I'm happy to do some personal service for her and also oversee the humanitarian projects in India. But others have taken over
Right.
and are operating the whole global organization on the principles of holacracy. And that is a powerful way to decentralize decision-making, create collaboration. There's no fixed roles. There's a lot of fluidity, and it's very powerful. So
Oh.
it's
Something to explore on this. We should do a whole
we
segment
could
on
do,
that.
we could do a lot on
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
So where can people find you? Like, how do they find Pavima? Like, what's the best way to get in touch with you if somebody wants to, any consultation
all the
for their
information
business?
is on my website, www.pavima, PAVIMA.org.
And
You're
I-
also on social media too, Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Is that new?
No,
Ariel.
no,
Ariel's
the
on it.
area's working on that.
Okay.
We're not there yet, so let's just stick with the website.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I know personally you've been a gigantic influence in my life, and I think that anybody that finds you for business consultation will be super happy with how they evolve and their businesses evolve as a result of working with you. Thank you for being on the show today.
Oh, thank
And
you.
for being a part of our lives.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Jax, tell us a little bit about
So
you.
special. I love this man. I feel like I should let everybody else go first. Juice Buzz, I'll just start with where it's located, is
Yes.
6 Northeast 5th Avenue in Delray Beach, Florida. Thank you to all of you for being customers. Greatly appreciate it.
Oh, I love
So
your
yummy.
juices. We
Thank
wouldn't
you.
go anywhere else.
Yes, organic and cold press is the way to go. As I tell new customers, if you're not juicing at home, it really is the best second option. So first, fresh at home. Second, organic and cold press. In a glass bottle, not plastic, is also important. What we talked about, the consciousness, not only of the humans, but of the planet, the earth, and Mother Nature, who gives us everything that we need. So my philosophy, as many others in this conscious community, is food is medicine, and, patient heal thyself. So no, I'm not coining that I could cure anything, but we do help prevent illnesses from the common cold to more serious stuff by having organic juices. With that said, I just want to add about the employees, and I do have instilled a profit sharing implementation incentive.
great.
And I'm grateful for my father, who is a 65-year-old semi-retired corporate business man, and he actually inspired me to do such a thing. And I love that he's so old school, but yet he just knew to do that.
Right.
I had not thought of that on my own. So I'm still learning and growing as a small business owner, and I'm grateful that I get to share my profits because, again, it wasn't just the bottom line to serve Jacqueline.
Right.
It's to serve the whole. So I really appreciate that other businesses can do that if they want to, if they choose to. And
That's
I think
great.
the employees see value in that, and they see that they're valued and they get their worth and that they matter. I don't know if large chains would do that as much as maybe a small business has the capability of or the desire to. So I just wanted to drop that message down, for other businesses who are capable of sharing their wealth, that it would mean a lot to the future of our country and of our world.
Awesome. Thank you. And in addition to cold pressed juices and smoothies and acai bowls, you also have all different types of food products too that you offer salads and healthy snacks, right?
Yes,
I just
thank
want
you.
everybody to know that
For
you have an
providers.
array
I
of
do.
foods and drinks.
And with that said, thank you. I also like to support locals more than large corporations with what I just said, small mom and pop. So we have a lot of local bars, Healthy Endings, Fro Pro, Jody's Bites, just to name a few, farm fresh foods. I do believe that, we got to support our backyard to really impact the world.
And we love it. It's
Yeah.
such good food and
Thank
great
you.
juices. So
Thank
thank you. Go visit Jax at Juice Buzz.
Thank you.
Valerie, tell us about what you're doing and how we can access what you're doing.
Yeah. Make sure this bar's not in your face.
No, it's good. It's good. That's good. No, it's good.
I am just this free-spirited entrepreneur for my entire life, basically. And what I love about what I do is I get to be super creative and dig down deep to what wants to come through, what I feel like we're needing in that moment, and then create it. So I have ideas. I think about the things that I need to do or the people that I want to bring together to, bring it to fruition and then make it happen. And so I'm always creating new events, new adventures, new retreats, new possibilities for us to deepen that conversation. I coach. So I am a mindset and leadership coach, board certified, and I also have I'm a coach trainer. So I have a 9-month program in psychospiritual coaching. Psychospiritual coaching is one of my companies, so it's psychospiritualcoaching.com. We have a 9-month program that brings people through an incredible journey to become a nationally board certified life coach. And so I do that. I coach individuals. I create workshops that allow us to tune into our mindset, ourselves as evolutionary leaders, really deepen our connection to each other. So we do a lot of authentic relating work, a lot of sacred ecology. My background is in ecology. I have my graduate work is in ecology and deep ecology, which is really a beautiful philosophical foundation for recognizing our interconnection with life.
Right.
And one of my beautiful mentors, she's an incredible elder. Her name is Joanna Macy, that I've been working with for about 15 years or so. And she created a body of work called The Work That Reconnects. And so that's sort of a foundation for a lot of the things that I teach. And it's an experiential deep dive into our gratitude for the world, our perception, that paradigm shifting, recognizing what's happening in our world and how we connect with our emotions so that we understand that whatever's happening collectively also affects us individually, that it's not separated.
Right.
So we do a lot of deep work with just honoring our emotions for the world. And then how do we step forward as activists, which I consider to be a sacred word.
I agree.
And my whole background is in activism, starting with animal rights, environmental, social, educational activism. And that's why when I started off, I said evolutionary activist, which doesn't really give you the details. So here they are. But as an evolutionary activist, it's about nurturing our inner evolution because change begins within, and it needs to be centered in a deeper context so that we're not just changing for ourselves.
Right.
We're not just transforming ourselves, but we're doing it in relationship to a deeper invitation, a deeper calling, which is part of that conscious evolution, right? So when we work on ourselves, we are doing it in order to be in service in the greatest way possible.
I agree with you.
When we serve the world, we want to give our best, 100% of everything we have, because it's bigger than us.
Right.
So the work that I do is really centered in that understanding, helping us to understand it intellectually, physically, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, all of it is there. So it's a whole person approach to being alive, being in love.
Amazing. So aligned with all of us too. We're all on the same page with that. Thank you. Right, we all do.
And I'm like you.
We all do. So give us your website again so we can find you.
Okay, so I have two websites, inspiredlifeworkshops.org, inspiredlifeworkshops.org, and psychospiritualcoaching.com. And I will give you guys a little sneak preview into something I'm working on now, which is a platform. I might be calling it Inspired Community, but it's going to be an incredible platform that brings together amazing teachers. So we're going to have master classes. We're going to have all kinds of interviews with amazing people. We're going to have activism and how we can give back to the world and understanding what's happening in our world. There's going to be a portion, a feature, a category around elders. So really listening to our elders and elders speak, and just so many beautiful things are going to be part of this.
Awesome.
So it's going to be a really amazing platform for our community to just come together in solidarity.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
I love that.
Love it. We need to definitely connect on that. I'd love to hear more about it. For sure. Okay, Darnell, talk to us about Casa Mana Bliss, and that's something that a lot of us are involved in, right?
Yes, most people everybody at this table is involved in Casa Mana Bliss. So what happened, as you know, is a group of us got together and we used to have awesome, beautiful events at Viv's house. And we'd open up to the community and have different healers and different energy workers come, and people would just show up 50 to 100 at a time, and it was magic. And then Viv moved to a smaller house. And so we wanted to continue to have events, and a space opened up over on Federal Highway. And Viv's like, let's do it. Let's make that Mana Bliss house, Casa Mana Bliss. And we talked to our sisters and brothers and all the people in the community that we hang out with. And there was a lot of interest in coming together collaboratively and build a center, a holistic healing center featuring yoga and meditation, qigong, tai chi, shamanic healing, kids programs, herb gardens, moon gardens, children's gardens, and a lot of powerful work, kind of taking these ancient teachings, these spiritual teachings, and really making them modern day, making them accessible to the mainstream, because people get scared when they go to a yoga class. They don't feel like they can touch their toes, and then people are saying all these Sanskrit words, and it's intimidating to a lot of people. So we want to bring all of that with a big heart of love and all of the magic and twinkliness in each other's eyes, and give that to whomever is searching for a little bit of peace in their life and a little bit of bliss. So we came together collaboratively, and we're all investing together, and we're all going to make it work, because like Mukti was talking about, Muktanada's nickname is Mukti, everybody, in case you were wondering. Like Mukti,
That's our secret little nickname.
secret is out.
It's out now.
Secret is out. Don't tell Saima. Like Mukti was talking, it is about the whole, and it is about everybody benefiting together. It's not about just one person. So it's beautiful that we all come together, and we're really honing in on everybody's skill set, and everybody's coming together. Juice Buzz is going to have Juice Buzz there. Zendali is going to have Zendali there. Jamie Hawk, this magic, spiritual, shamanistic person, is going to build a garden and do women's circles. And there's people doing crystal work and drumming and yoga and meditation. So it's quite magical. I'm pretty excited.
I am too. So we're all involved in that. So I'm going to add a little bit to that. So it's retail and food and classes, and it's a community. It's really for the community. It's a gift. We came together as a co-op to do something that would be a solid part of our community for the long haul, where folks could find and access different paths to health and well-being. And again, I want to reiterate on what Darnell said. It's we are taking all of the stuff out of it that can scare sometimes folks away from it, because they think it's all about those folks that are very new agey and, dress a certain way and look a certain way and adhere to these certain standards. So we don't want that to be the case here. We want it to be accessible to everyone. So you're not going to see any deities walking through the door. You're not going to hear any strange language. We're going to break it down in a way that's very simple and easy to digest, in a way that it's relevant to our lives today and applicable to anyone, regardless of your spiritual beliefs, regardless of your physical abilities or limitations, or regardless of the language that you speak. And when I talk about language, it's the perspective that we view the world through. In addition to that, I want to talk about Monobliss, which is where this all started. And Monobliss is a website. And I think we need to talk about some of that because I think there's room for us to work together with it, because I think we're doing some of the similar things with that. And Monobliss, our mission is to promote and build a community of like-minded businesses and people that value caring for our planet and the people in it. And so we want to promote, we want to educate, we want to bring folks together, not only businesses, but people that are making a difference in the world, and we want to showcase them on our site. So we're here to champion the good work. This segment was about championing some of that good work. We want to hear from you all as to who you know that's doing good work. Activism is very much a part of our mission too. It's getting people active in activism. So I don't know that we have a product of our own. Our product is promoting the products that are out there. So we have a business directory for you. It's free of charge for anyone that wants to be on there. And we will put you on there and let people access conscious businesses. We talk about investing in the companies that support us. Well, where do we find them? We want to be the location to find those companies. We want to be the location for you to find your friends, for like-minded people, for us to share resources with one another. So we're not going to give anything of our own. Maybe we'll post a couple of articles, but we're going to allow you space to post your articles, to post your business, to post yourself, to really showcase what you're doing and link people back to your site to find you. Because we need to have a home for us to really know where to go to. I think similar to what you're doing, but you're going to be offering classes in a different way. We could work together and do the same thing. So I want to point you all to www.monobliss.com. Please list your business in there. Please post any articles you have in there. And also go to our Facebook page. If you know of anyone that's doing good work, we want to shout it out. We're tired of hearing about all the bad that's going on in the world. There's so much good going on. And I keep saying, we always point to the bad, but we fail to see the good. Everywhere I look, I see so much good. And we need to start championing, showcasing, applauding, and investing and loving on the folks that are doing right by society. Okay, thank you. And I think we might be out of time. Thank you for having us today. Is there any last minute comments? Oh, we have 5 minutes left.
Sweet. Yeah.
Do we want to talk about anything else?
I want to add to Monobliss, but
No, go ahead. Add to Monobliss because I'm going to take it in a different direction.
Okay, cool. So just adding to Monobliss, to quote our good friend and dear sister Genevieve.
Yes,
because I love
thank
this
you.
quote. It's really going to be a spiritual playground, and I'm not going to say an adult playground. It's for children. It's for children.
That
as
sounds
well.
a little
Yeah,
off.
exactly. I said it. Sorry. Yeah, no, but it's a spiritual playground, and it's meant for us to tap into that inner child. If you are not a child, and I think that what you said along the lines of we are seeing a lot of negative and evil, but there is so much good and beauty in the world,
yes.
Right.
and we saw that as children, and there's somewhere along the lines,
Right.
Society, news, parent, whatever circumstance, situations, story that we have fallen, to belief to,
Right.
has allowed us to go the other way. And I think it's going to give us that space, that safe space,
safe
to
space,
tap
sacred
into
space,
who
yeah.
we all are, innately, it's within us.
Right.
It just has a little veil that needs to be lifted.
Absolutely.
And I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you.
Genevieve was actually saying that we, our group of people that we hang out with here in Delray Beach in South Florida, really wanted to take each other's classes and just hang out with each other a little bit more than we do because we're a little bit obsessed with each other. So she said we were making a magical playground so we could hang out with each other more. So that's, I mean, slightly
We're
selfish, but
inviting
in
everyone to
service,
play.
in service, so all of you
We'll
can
invite
come.
everybody else
Yeah.
to play with us in our magical playground.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so beautiful.
We're excited.
So
So
Val,
much love. The only thing I was going to add is just in reflection to what is happening in our world right now. As somebody who's extremely passionate about evolution and ecology, it's an understanding that evolution happens under the greatest amount of pressure.
right.
And so just to kind of, twist what's happening right now,
Right.
it's like as we breathe through the intensity of our world, because
Right.
we can't just
Right.
Monobliss it away either, right? We have to
Right.
part of it is taking it in.
Right.
We have to be present to there is a certain amount of intensity and suffering and pain and mass shootings and people are confused and
Right.
people are scared and people are in pain and that's very real.
Right.
And as we join hands and support each other through this, as we breathe together through this, as we really take it in and open our eyes wider, step back and see the larger picture, when we understand that what's happening right now is also pushing us, inviting us, opening a possibility for a new way of living, a new way of being, because the old way, the old paradigm cannot sustain a future world.
Right.
And so we have to be really present with everything we're feeling and everything that's happening so we can move ourselves forward passionately, powerfully, confidently, authentically, right, into this great vision that we all hold in our conscious evolution. Because it's partly about the evolution of our consciousness, and the other part of it is understanding the mechanics of evolution so that we can move forward with conscious choices.
Right.
So these old systems are unraveling. They are falling apart. They cannot sustain. And these new systems are growing in this great turning that we're moving forward in. So I just wanted to add that. It's part of Nana Bliss. It's part of everything that we're all doing. It's our why. Even though it looks different, it is the why that drives all of us in the work that we do. This great vision that we share for a more connected and compassionate world.
Thank you. I think we're out of time with that beautiful final.
Thank you.
So come find us all and help us do this good work. We're in it together. It takes all of us. We're counting on you all to do your part too. And visit us. We'd love to share more with you and hear about the good work you're doing. Thank you for being with us on Tell Us Your Biz today.
All of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an amp2.tv production.